For most parts of my life, I've had to deal with some form of fear, whether the fear of failure, whether the fear of trying out something new, the fear of getting into business, and even the fear of sitting here today and doing what I'm doing, just making YouTube videos. I always thought people would think I'm crazy, that I'll quit my job and be sitting in a seat and doing YouTube videos. I was always afraid that people would think I'm crazy, that maybe even my husband would think I'm going nuts now. And so when I started, I was still working when I started making YouTube videos. But I will just do them on my crafting channel. I would just make my videos where you don't have to see me, and I'll just leave the instructions. I'll comment, I'll respond to people comments and questions and everything, but at least you're not seeing me. But then as time went by, things started getting kind of different, and came COVID, and then this other form of fear, that one gripped everybody in America and in the world as a whole. That fear gripped everybody when COVID came. Everybody was afraid of the unknown. We didn't know where we were going, what else was going to happen. And some people freak out. They started buying crazy. I mean, buying toilet papers. Like, what are you going to do with toilet papers when things get tough? I'm from a country where, there was war for about 15 years, breaking between here and there. And I know one thing I always saw my parents buy was food. Whenever there was a way to get out, they would go and buy food. They wouldn't buy toilet papers. And so that wasn't one of the things. It was kind of strange to me when Americans were running to buy toilet papers. That was I'm not saying this is I'm sorry guys, but it was just strange for me to see that a pandemic is coming. People are asking people to stay 6 feet away. If you go into the store, you got to dress up more like you getting ready to go. I don't even know how to describe the way we were dressing up. Like, yes, just to protect yourself and protect your family. And things were running out in the stores. Supply chain is cut, and people are running, and everybody's going and buying toilet papers. When I was going to the store, I want to get food. Those were the things I was thinking about. How much food can I get in my home because I got kids? But I saw people scrambling here and there and fighting over toilet papers, and to me that was a little strange. But anyway, again, let's get back to our issue. Researchers have claimed that there are two kinds of fears. The innate one, which is the one we're born with, and the learned fear, that which is every other fear. And the innate fear happens to be in two categories: the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. Like you see when you have a baby, and even if that baby is just a couple of days old, when there's a loud noise, they kind of freak out a little bit. Those are the kind of fears they say we're born with. But any other fear, we learn from our environment. And I like to describe that kind of fear as the spirit of fear that the Bible talks about, that we should not have. Those ones he did not give it to us, we learn it. And it's unhealthy fear. The healthy fear is the fear where we learn to reverence God, where we learn to put him first, where we learn to just give him what he deserves, where we learn to honor him and to live our lives in accordance with his words and what he wants us to do. But any other form of fear, like the fear of failure, the fear of the unknown, those are fears that we learn. we adopt from people, either maybe because of something we heard before, or something we grew up seeing, or something we grew up hearing, or just because we know a lot of us, especially as Africans, I mean, we grow up hearing a lot of things that makes us scared to venture even into anything. And if you read in the Bible, there are a lot of scriptures where God has promised. And he didn't have to say it 2 times or 3 times or 365 times, like some people say, where God says, do not be afraid, for I am with you. That is enough for me. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to hear when the spirit of fear is creeping up on me. I just need to make reference to that. Because what else can you do when you buy a cell phone and you want to know how to use that cell phone? I bet you look at the manual, right? Or maybe you go on YouTube and look at somebody's YouTube video about how to use that cell phone. So God created us, and he inspired people to write this manual. These are his words to us. This is the manual for us. If you want healing, it's in here. If you want blessings, follow this manual. If you want long life, follow the instructions in this manual. How about if you want to get rid of your fears? Follow this manual. If you want prosperity, follow this manual. It has everything in it. And I can tell you that because I know it. Because I use it. There is a solution to every problem. There is an instruction that you can follow from the Bible to solve whatever problem it is, whether it's with your marriage, whether it's with family issues, whether with your kids, whether your personal life, whether your health. There is an instruction for it. And one book that I love to read in the Bible is the book of Proverbs. There's just so much instruction in the book of Proverbs for life that if you apply, even if you're not a believer in the Bible, even if you're not a Christian, if you're not a churchgoer, I believe you read other books and you follow other instructions that people give you in the books. Why not try this one? You don't have to be a Christian. You don't have to be a follower of God. You don't have to be a religious person. Read the Bible. Follow the instructions in there. Proverbs is full of a lot of instructions. I always say to people, it's one of my favorite books in the Bible. If you read the book of Proverbs and you apply the wisdom, the instructions that's in there to your life, believe me, you're going to have a change in your life. You're going to have a different life. So today, I just want you to try to use the manual that was created when you were created. The manual that has everything in it that you can use to make this life better, to make life prosperous. On this channel, we work with willing people to help them develop the mindset and skill set they need to build their dreams. And we know for a fact that fear is one of the major issues that stopped a lot of us from venturing into entrepreneurship, from starting out that new business, from making that new investment, or from just trying out that new thing that's going to change our lives. And so for this reason, we decided to deal with the issue of fear more on this channel and share with you how we cope with our own fear. I cope with my own fear today. I help my husband cope with his own fear of starting a business. And today, he's a proud boss of his own. He runs a cleaning company that takes care of us. At least I don't have to go and get a job. I can stay at home and do what I love to do. I can stay at home and be able to help you today because I don't have to go running to work to clock in or clock out. I can stay at home and take care of my kids because I help him deal with that fear. And that was all he needed. And I know there's somebody, there's you sitting out there today, that's all you need. You only need somebody. You probably have the money, you probably have the energy, you probably have the knowledge, the skills, the know-how. But because you're afraid to do it. You're afraid of what people will say. You're afraid if you leave your stable job, how you gonna cope? You are so afraid of the unknown. And so you don't want to try anything new. You don't want to get outside that comfort zone. You're just comfortable where you are, even though it's not good enough for you, but you just feel comfortable holding on to it because you know what? At the end of the month, you can get paid, or in 2 weeks' time, you are sure that paycheck is coming in. Well, how much is it really taking care of you? Is it really enough to keep you going until the next pay period? Is it really enough to take care of everything you have to do? Is it enough that you will be able to leave your children and your children's children an earning? Is it enough that you're going to leave your children's children wealth?